Hi everyone, it's Leigh here. Thanks for joining me. Big welcome to all of my subscribers who've been coming along for the fun for quite some time, and also a big welcome to anyone who's here for the first time. I hope you will subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. So I made a nice bright spread, spring vibey spread in a little art book in my last video, and I thought I really loved the way the colours, were just so happy, and it made me happy to look at that page. So I thought I'm going to make a couple of tags as well using pretty much the same method. So I'm starting off with some texture paste. That first stencil that I used had some distress oxide of some sort. I think it's vintage photo, but it's coming through as yellow, so it's tainting that texture paste a little bit, but that's fine. I don't mind that at all. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Once I get the texture paste on there, I'll give it a quick blast off with the heat gun to dry it all out. Once it's dry, I'm going to add some really watered down acrylic paint. So this colour is Phthalo Blue. It's a heavy body paint, so it's really thick and pasty and takes a bit to get it into a liquid form, but I'll get some on there anyway and just pop some of that lovely blue onto the card. And as you know, if you've been visiting my channel for some time, I love my drips and I love splashes. So there's going to be drips, and I think there'll be splashes on this as well. So I found my paper didn't really stand up to all the wet stuff very well. It did tend to curl several times, and ended up having to iron the cards, the tags flat at one stage. I didn't show that though, I just did it off camera. But yeah, the heat gun straightened it out a little bit, but didn't get it as flat as I wanted. But it wasn't a problem in the end, because I glued on some lined paper for writing onto the backs of them once I'd finished decorating the front. So here I'm adding just a bit of dictionary page. It's in a foreign language. I think it's a German dictionary. I can't remember. So it's nice thin paper. Now I'm going to add on some page out of a typewriting handbook. It had some pages in it where like a fake handwritten letter was on the page, so I love the way the handwriting looks. So I add a little bit of that onto each tag. And I've also got that paper that you can just see up in the top right hand corner there. So that's a gel printing runoff sheet that I painted with some nice bright colours of paint. I just wanted some vibrant painty papers. All of mine, the colours are all mixed together and quite muted, so I wanted something bright and springy looking, even summery if not spring. You can see that there. Once I got the paint on them, I doodled all over them, just relaxing and not thinking about anything, but just scribbling all over the paper. So a couple of pieces of that to go onto these cards as well. I keep calling them cards, they're tags, but I don't think it really matters. I won't tell anybody if you don't tell anybody. So I'm using a Uhu glue stick to glue these down, these pieces. takes a bit of glue because of the texture paste and the paint that's on there. But I love the way that little pop of colour stands out against the blue. Looks really nice. So the next thing I'm going to use, I believe, is some of my little watercolour paints. The same ones I used on my journal page, my art journal page the other day. So these are really great little paints for the price. Budget set. So I'm not sure whether they're available anywhere other than Australia, but the Montmartre is the brand. I'm sure they would be because they're made in China. So I'd imagine you could buy them around the world. So for the price, I think they're really good quality. They're very pigmented, and it's a handy little case. And there's quite a fair bit of paint in it as well, so those little wells are quite deep. So I'm just adding some yellow in there, and I do believe that I add some other colours there. I'm going for a mix of scarlet and magenta on this one. These were so fun to make. You know, as I said, I seem to be stuck in a muted and what's the word for it? Vintage sort of frame of mind lately with my junk journaling work. So this was really nice to get some bright colours into my work. So we're actually in autumn here in Australia, so nowhere near spring at all. But the weather's still quite warm during the day. The nights are starting to cool down quite nicely. But yeah, today I think it got up to 26 degrees Celsius. Yesterday was 28. So it's still quite warm. But I don't think I'd be going for a swim in the pool. So I'm just going to dry that off. And I thought I'd do a little bit of stamping on this, but it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to work out. So I wouldn't recommend stamping over texture paste. Obviously, you could probably tell me that yourselves. So yeah, so that was a dead loss doing that. A couple of them worked out okay. One of them was so bad, like I tried to do it twice and it just ended up like this big blob there. So I ended up putting some white gesso on it to sort of ease it back a bit. But and then I thought, well, maybe if I put the stamp down and press the card into it, it will be a better print, and it was. But yeah, I probably should have done the stamping before I did anything else, you know. Anyway, you live and learn, don't you? And this is how we learn things, is by experimenting, making mistakes, and then learning how you're supposed to do them. Some of us take a few times to make that same mistake over and over again before we actually absorb the knowledge. Not saying anything. We'll just call it a senior's moment. So I'm just working out where I want that leaf to be. So I end up popping them on, using a bit of art glitter glue to stick them down. So how's everyone going? I hope you had a wonderful Easter if you celebrate Easter. In Australia you get the 4 days off work if you're still working, so a lot of people use that time to catch up on maintenance around their house by the sound of it. There's so many mowers going in the last couple of days around here, and yeah, so everyone's out in the yard. The weather's been nice. We've had a couple of showers of rain, but you know, the weather's been quite nice, so everyone's taken advantage of that. Okay, so this is the one that's too dark, and I ended up just smushing some white gesso over that ink, and then I stuck my flower on top of it. I love die cuts, but sometimes, wow, they're so hard to stick down. Somebody must have a trick for sticking them down without going, you know, getting all fiddly with the cuts. But let me know if you know a good way. So this is the paper that I'm going to stick on the back. It's out of a notebook, and it's a nice creamy sort of colour. So I'm just using the Uhu glue stick to stick that down. And once I've got the 3 of those tags covered in that paper, I'll trim them up and ink around the edge. So I'm loving the vibrance of these. They're just so bright and cherry. And you can see the paper's still curling even after adding that second layer on there. I think that the cardstock is about 200 GSM. I'm not sure why it bent the way it did. So I'm using black soot to go around the edge of that. Just adds a nice finish to all the tags. Bit like when you do an art journal page and you go right around the edge of the page. This finishes everything off nicely. Okay, I have my gold watercolour paint. Now this one's just about empty, so it's only got paint around the edge of that little well there. So I've got to really work at it now to get some gold paint out of it. So a few splatters there. Dry that off, and then I will add just a piece of this beautiful bright paper on each of the tags as a little tag top. And I'm just stapling that on with my little tiny attacher stapler. I thought about putting some string or something on there, but I think these little tags, taggy tabs, whatever they are, the paper tabs, they look nice. Let me know what you think is the best thing to put on a tag. And do you use paper like this? Have you done that? And was it a success for you? And there's my last one going on. And here's my 3 completed tags. So we've got the little baby tag, we've got the mummy tag, and we've got the daddy tag. A bit like Goldilocks and the 3 bears. But lovely and bright. Love the bright colours. Very joyful and fun, playful these tags were. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how they were made. I think I might be making some more bright things in the future. Might do some bright colours on the jelly plate. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you for another video soon. So happy creating. Hugs and cheers from Australia. Bye for now.